so young in this business, a lot of it really can screw you up in many ways. Also, you
He latched onto this thing with Macaulay and took it for all it was worth and became very possessive.
Remember that Home Alone kid who stole our hearts and then disappeared from our screens like he'd vanished into thin air? Well, it turns out Hollywood didn't just lose him, the industry's darker side gobbled him up and spit him out. And guess what? Nobody even batted an eye. Macaulay Culkin, the child star turned recluse, has finally had enough. After years of silence, he's clapping back at everyone who mistreated him, from the industry bigwigs to those who stood by and let it happen. Buckle up, because this isn't just a trip down memory lane, it's a shocking exposé that's got everyone talking. Well, it's no wonder Hollywood has always been a messy playground, especially for child actors forced into the spotlight by parents chasing fame and fortune. These kids, they're just trying to catch their breath and look after their mental health, but their parents, blinded by greed, pushing them harder and harder, oblivious to the damage they're causing. Unfortunately, that's what happened to Macaulay Culkin. The kid who made us laugh and cry in Home Alone was left battling scars no child should ever have to endure, all thanks to the toxic mix of Hollywood's pressures and parental exploitation. Imagine how bad things must have gotten for Macaulay Culkin that even Home Alone director Chris Columbus had to share advice on protecting child stars from being mistreated, starting with making sure they have good parents. Columbus, who brought us some of the most iconic child performances in movies like Home Alone and the Harry Potter series, revealed in Demi Lovato's Hulu documentary, Child Star, how this experience with Macaulay shaped his approach to casting young actors. After Home Alone unexpectedly skyrocketed Macaulay to fame, Columbus saw firsthand the dangers of a child becoming the family's breadwinner. He went from shooting Home Alone, where nobody cared, but in the course of a year, Macaulay Culkin became a huge star, and that was unexpected, Columbus said. It's not like Harry Potter, where you know that it may be extraordinarily successful. I came from a working-class family, and I've seen it a couple of times with kids, and when you see someone who comes from a working-class family and suddenly they're thrown into, the kid becomes the breadwinner for the family. Understandably, the intense pressure of Macaulay's stardom left a lasting impression on the director, prompting him to warn young actors not to get exploited by their parents, or another adult for that matter. His father, Kit Culkin, pushed him to his breaking point, prioritizing the fame and success Macaulay brought over his well-being. By the time he was starring in classics like Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, and Richie Rich, Macaulay wasn't just acting, he was funding his entire family. Meanwhile, Kit and his then partner, Patricia Bentrup, managed their children's careers like business assets, putting relentless pressures on Macaulay, Kieran, and Rory Culkin. The family dynamic only worsened when Macaulay's parents split in 1995, sparking bitter financial disputes that left their young son caught in the crossfire. While Kit had dreams of his own in the entertainment world, having appeared on Broadway in Hamlet and the original West Side Story film, he seemed far more interested in living vicariously through Macaulay's success than protecting his mental health. Culkin followed his Home Alone run with a slew of other early 90s films including My Girl, The Good Son, Richie Rich, and a movie version of the Christmas ballet, The Nutcracker. But by the time he hit the age of 14, the busy child actor said he had had enough of life in the movie biz. When I was put in a position where I could take control of my own life and my own destiny and make decisions that were solely for my benefit and not for anyone else to make money on or anything like that, I did. I jumped in there and I kind of just said, I'm retired. Essentially, I had to take control. I was going crazy by that point. I knew it was, if I just kept on doing this, I'd go nuts. Well, because of Kit taking millions of dollars of Macaulay's money in the name of manager's cut, Macaulay had had enough and had to remove his parents as his managers and appoint an external source so that his finances would be secure. Macaulay Culkin's journey to fame might have looked like a Hollywood fairy tale, but the truth behind the curtains is anything but glamorous. Born as one of 7 kids crammed into a tiny New York City apartment, Macaulay's childhood was far from the picture-perfect family his on-screen roles often portrayed. The family was so broke that all 7 children had to share a single room in what Macaulay described as one long hallway with doorways, but no actual doors. Reflecting on his early years, he once joked, I guess we couldn't afford doors or something. But what's not funny is how little choice Macaulay had in shaping his own destiny. From the moment he could talk and walk, his father, Kit Culkin, forced him and his siblings into acting, snatching away any chance of them to pursue their own dreams. I never chose the projects. Macaulay revealed in an interview with Joe Rogan. "My parents essentially chose them for me." And if that wasn't bad enough, Macaulay didn't even see a dime of the money he earned. According to the director who gave him his first gig, Macaulay's family was so destitute, he would crawl under the theater bleachers searching for loose change. At home, the nightmare only deepened. Kid Culkin wasn't just a controlling Hollywood manager, he was a tyrant who dominated every aspect of Macaulay's life. Behind closed doors, his behavior became outright abusive. Kit was reportedly manipulative, cruel, and physically abusive to Macaulay's mother, Patricia, even when she was pregnant. Macaulay admitted on a podcast with Mark Maron, revealing a home life filled with bruises, black eyes, and scars, not just on his mother but on him as well. For Macaulay, home wasn't a sanctuary, it was a living hell. Everything he, Culkin's father, tried to do in life, I excelled at before I was 10 years old. I even wanted to take a break for a while, and eventually I was like, "I'm done, guys. Hope you all made your money because there's no more coming from me." Culkin's parents divorced after he filmed Richie Rich in 1994. He called their split one of the best things that's ever happened because it led him to leaving the industry. The saved actor famously sued his parents over his $17 million earnings in a custody dispute when he was 15 years old. He had their names removed as his legal guardians so they could no longer control his fortune.
And Macaulay Culkin's home life wasn't good, where his parents kept on spending his money, so when he was 14 years old, he had himself emancipated and sued his parents for $17 million. And because of this, even though he was asked to return for Home Alone 3 when he was 13 years old, he refused to do so, saying he was quitting acting.
Speaking of quitting, the industry really did a number on him. They tried to use Macaulay's close relationship with Michael Jackson and tried to paint him as one of his essay victims. An essay that never even occurred. But since Macaulay had not enough string in the industry, all he could do was screech from the bleachers. Do interviews where people would try to give anything that Macaulay said a new meaning just to drag him on social media. The controversial allegations against Michael Jackson have resurfaced countless times over the years, especially in the wake of the Leaving Neverland documentary. But one voice has consistently stood by the late pop icon, Macaulay Culkin. Despite being a key witness in Jackson's 2005 trial and one of his closest child friends, Culkin has refused to waver in his defense of the Thriller singer. Their friendship, which began when Culkin was just 10 years old, raised eyebrows for years, especially as accusations mounted against Jackson. But Culkin has repeatedly maintained that his experiences with the star were innocent. In a candid 2004 interview with Larry King, Culkin reflected on his time at Jackson's infamous Neverland Ranch and his deep bond with the megastar. "We were friends because I didn't treat him like a god. I wasn't a fan. I was just a kid talking to another person." While King pressed Culkin about their time spent together, including the controversial fact that Culkin slept in Jackson's bedroom, the Home Alone actor explained, "People don't understand. The bedroom was massive. It wasn't like some tiny cramped space. It was 2 stories with multiple bathrooms." Culkin also shed light on why Jackson gravitated towards children, saying, "Kids don't care about his fame. They just see him as a regular person. That's what he loved, being treated like anyone else. He wanted to play video games and just have fun." When questioned about the allegations against Jackson, Culkin didn't mince words. "If someone harmed my child, I wouldn't stop at money. I'd want them in jail. That didn't happen here. They got the money and ran." Through years of public scrutiny, Culkin has remained firm in his stance.
Listen, he's a good friend of mine, and he still is. I mean, everything that's going on, it's unfortunate. It's an unfortunate situation for everyone involved.
And unlike the negative connotation attached to Michael Jackson's name, Macaulay has never shied from celebrating his association with the pop legend. And that cannot be said for any of Michael's other friends. You see, Macaulay Culkin and Michael Jackson went way back. After Culkin skyrocketed to fame for his lead role in the 1990 film Home Alone, the pair developed a tight bond for people. As stardom alienated Culkin from classmates, Jackson stood by him. In a 2019 appearance on Michael Rosenbaum's Inside of You podcast, the child actor noted that the two had a lot in common. He said, "He reached out to me because a lot of things were happening big and fast with me. I think he identified with that. He was my best friend growing up for a good fat stretch of my life." He also shared his perspective on Jackson's affinity for children. He explained, "Jackson was emotionally young. He enjoyed my youthfulness. He liked being a kid with me. It never struck me as odd. I never felt uncomfortable. That was just the way he was." Variety noted that Culkin was also featured in Jackson's black and white music video. And guess what? Even after the media outlets enjoyed and cased Michael's dilemma to the best of their ability, Macaulay was there to protect Michael's children from the fallout. "I am close with Paris," he responded when asked about their friendship. "I'm going to warn you now. I am very protective of her, so just look out. I am a very open book when it comes to things. But like with her, she is beloved by me. I'm just letting you know, if we want to start going down that road, it's going to be a dead end, you know? But I mean that in the fact that I love her so much. While reflecting on his tumultuous home life and early career, Macaulay didn't hold back when discussing the harsh realities faced by child stars in Hollywood. He revealed witnessing many parents essentially pimping their children for fame and fortune, exploiting their kids' talent, just to get their names out there. But amidst the chaos of his own upbringing, Culkin expressed a rare sliver of gratitude. His father, Kit Culkin, despite his controlling and behavior, didn't stoop to that particular low. At least he didn't use me as some kind of bargaining chip in Hollywood, Culkin admitted. Still, the weight of being a child breadwinner in a toxic family environment left scars that Culkin is only now able to openly address. Hollywood might have had its monsters, but as Culkin points out, sometimes the worst ones were sitting right at the dinner table. Look, I mean it sucks, but it could have been worse, you know? I wasn't working in a coal mine. I wasn't a child soldier. My father was not essaying me. Certain effed up things happen, but effed up things happen to kids all the time, and they don't come out of the other end. I've got something to show for it, man. I mean, look at me. I got money, I got fame, I got a beautiful girlfriend, and a beautiful house and beautiful animals. Despite the gratitude Macaulay Culkin now feels for the life he's built, his journey to healing wasn't without its dark moments. In an attempt to cope with the trauma of his childhood, Culkin turned to questionable outlets. Back in 2004, at just 24 years old, his mugshot made global headlines after being arrested in Oklahoma for possessing marijuana and a controlled substance without a prescription. The world watched in shock as the former child star spiraled, with photos emerging in 2012 of a gaunt and frail Culkin clutching an energy drink, fueling rumors of a serious habit. But Culkin has been candid about these struggles, determined to set the record straight. In a 2021 interview with Esquire, he reflected on his relationship with D's, saying, "I do love them. They're like old friends. But sometimes you outgrow your friends." He admitted to playing with fire, but managed to navigate his darkest days without ever checking into rehab. "I wouldn't be the person I am today if I hadn't had D's in my life at some point or another," he shared. "I had some illuminating experiences, but also, it's effing stupid." Culkin's journey has taken a brighter turn in recent years. He famously divorced his parents, taking control of his life and finances, and now shares a strong bond with his partner, actress Brenda Song, whom he met in 2017 while filming Changeland. Brenda has spoken glowingly about Culkin, telling Esquire, "What makes Mac so special is that he's unapologetically himself. He knows who he is, and he's 100% okay with that. That, to me, is an incredibly S quality." In December 2023, Macaulay paid tribute to Brenda after being awarded a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. In his speech, he praised the support of his loving wife and their 2 young children. He said, "I'd like to thank Brenda. You're absolutely everything. You're my champion. You're the only person happier for me today than I am. You're not only the best woman I've ever known, you're the best person I've ever known." Reflecting on growing up in the public eye, Macaulay says, "People assume that I'm crazy or a kook or damaged. Weird. It's also like, okay, everybody stop acting so freaking shocked that I'm relatively well-adjusted." Macaulay Culkin is making a splashy return to the screen, and this time, he's diving into the radioactive chaos of the wasteland. The Home Alone star has been cast in Prime Video's adaptation of the Fallout video game series, which has already been turning heads with its mix of existential dread and absurd humor. With the first season garnering praise for staying true to the game's offbeat tone, Culkin's edition promises to crank up the insanity. While details about his character are still under wraps, the rumor mill suggests he's set to play a crazy genius type. And let's be real, if anyone can pull off an eccentric wasteland brainiac, it's Macaulay Culkin. Fans are already speculating if his character might link to the iconic Fallout New Vegas storyline, especially since the show's finale hinted at adapting the beloved game. Could we see Culkin as a floating brain in a jar? With Fallout's track record of colorful and psychotic characters, anything's possible. This marks another exciting chapter in Culkin's carefully curated acting resurgence. Following his memorable roles in American Horror Story and The Righteous Gemstones, clearly, he's picking projects as quirky and iconic as he is. Stay tuned, because if there's one thing Fallout knows how to deliver, it's mayhem, and Culkin fits right in. In 2013, he helped form the comedy rock band The Pizza Underground, playing the kazoo, percussions, and providing vocals. Culkin performed parodies of songs by The Velvet Underground with pizza-themed lyrics alongside Matt Colburn, Phoebe Krauts, Dina Volmore, and Austin Killam. The band even gave out pizza during their live performances. Sadly, the band didn't last, as Culkin reported the group had officially disbanded in 2018. Keeping in line with his unique sense of humor, Culkin founded and is the CEO of the satirical website Bunny Ears, which claims, "We create premium lifestyle content. Some call it satire. Others call it the word, relating to proclivities, diet and exploration, upscale culture, and whatever else enriches lives and promotes chuckles." He also hosts a podcast with the same name and focus. On a slightly more serious note, Culkin even dipped his toes in the world of high fashion and made a runway appearance in 2021 for Gucci. So while the Home Alone star might not be headlining major blockbusters these days, it seems Macaulay Culkin has found his groove and is enjoying life on his own terms. That's all for today. We hope you enjoyed that video, and if you did, be sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos like this.